Have you ever noticed someone who actively chooses to stay home even when they have every possible chance to go out and socialize? Someone who finds genuine peace not at a loud, crowded party, but in the quiet sanctuary of their own room. They prefer to sit entirely alone to read a good book, think deeply about life, or just remain perfectly quiet instead of hanging out with a large group of friends. If you know someone exactly like this, or perhaps if you recognize these traits within yourself, then this message is meant specifically for you. Today we are taking a deep dive into the fascinating psychology of men who prefer to stay at home, and what you are about to hear might completely change your entire perspective on them. There is a very old, deeply ingrained societal belief that a man who stays at home is somehow weak, that someone who does not go out every weekend is timid, and that someone who stays away from large crowds is somehow flawed or missing out on life. However, modern science and psychology say something completely different. In reality, the minds of men who stay at home work in an entirely different way than those who constantly want to be out exploring. And this fundamental difference is not a weakness at all, but rather a highly unique and powerful mental makeup. First and foremost, the core source of energy for these men is fundamentally different from the rest of the world. In the field of psychology, this specific trait is called introversion. Many people mistakenly believe that introversion simply means being excessively shy or socially awkward, but they do not realize the actual truth. Its true meaning is that these individuals successfully recharge their internal, mental and emotional energy when they are completely alone, and that very same energy slowly drains away when they are forced to navigate a busy crowd. While a highly extroverted man might return from a late-night party feeling completely refreshed, energized, and ready to take on the world, an introverted man returns from that exact same party, feeling emotionally exhausted, physically drained, and desperately in need of quiet time. For them, their home is absolutely not a place to escape or hide from the real world. It is a sacred sanctuary where they go to heal, reflect, and recharge their internal batteries so they can function properly. Another profoundly interesting aspect is that the minds of men who prefer to stay home are constantly active and working at full speed. They may appear incredibly quiet, calm, and reserved on the outside, but on the inside, their minds hold an entire, vibrant universe of thoughts and ideas. They are constantly thinking, analyzing their surroundings, and imagining new possibilities. They simply do not need external noise, loud music, or constant chatter to keep themselves entertained, because their own internal thoughts are fascinating and engaging enough. This is exactly why such men are often incredibly deep thinkers, highly creative individuals, and very perceptive problem solvers. They do not just casually look at things on the surface level and accept them as they are, but they naturally seek to dig deeper and understand the true, hidden root of any situation or problem they encounter in life. What might truly surprise you is the fact that these quiet men form incredibly deep, meaningful, and long-lasting relationships. People often make the incorrect assumption that someone who does not go out much must be terrible at communicating or bad at building human connections, but the exact opposite is true. A man who stays at home would easily and happily choose 2 or 3 genuine, profoundly deep relationships over 100 superficial, surface-level acquaintances. He absolutely does not connect with just anyone who crosses his path. But when he finally does decide to let someone in, he commits fully and with his whole heart. There is absolutely no fake behavior, drama, or pretense in his friendship, and his romantic love has an immense, unwavering depth to it. This level of dedication makes him far more trustworthy, loyal, and dependable than someone who constantly surrounds themselves with massive crowds but never truly gets to know anyone. Society often misunderstands this quiet lifestyle the most by unfairly labeling men who stay at home as antisocial or weird. There is a massive, fundamental difference between being genuinely antisocial and simply being introverted. An antisocial person is someone who might actively want to cause harm to others or who blatantly refuses to respect the basic rules and boundaries of society. On the other hand, a man who stays at home simply knows exactly what kind of environment gives him the absolute most peace of mind, and he consciously, bravely chooses to prioritize that peace over societal expectations. This is a clear sign of immense wisdom and maturity, not weakness. In fact, comprehensive research from the University of Texas actually found that people who actively prefer spending their time alone are significantly more clear about their life goals, much more intensely focused on their work, and emotionally far more stable than the average person. The person who willingly steps away from the noisy crowd to spend quality time with himself knows himself better than anyone else ever could. He understands his life trajectory much more deeply, and this profound self-awareness gives him a crystal clear clarity in making major life decisions that someone who is always lost in the distracting noise of a crowd can rarely achieve. Another incredibly interesting point regarding these men is their remarkably high stress tolerance. When a massive storm brews in the outside world, or a major, unexpected difficulty suddenly arises in their personal or professional life, these men handle it in a very unique way. They do not react by panicking, making unnecessary noise, or complaining to everyone around them. Instead, they handle the situation silently, methodically, and with immense, calculated patience. Because they have spent so much uninterrupted time sitting alone with their own thoughts, they have successfully developed a rock-solid mental resilience that simply does not easily break amidst external turmoil or chaos. These are the rare types of people who can remain entirely calm, collected, and peaceful on the inside, even when they are standing directly in the middle of a literal storm in their lives. What truly makes these men stand out and makes them so incredibly special is their deep, unwavering self-awareness. Think about a person who is constantly out of the house, always surrounded by a loud crowd, and forever immersed in noise. That kind of person rarely ever gets a real, honest chance to truly meet himself or listen to his own inner voice. He is so incredibly busy trying to please others and keep up with social trends that he eventually becomes a complete stranger to his very own mind. But a man who stays at home, who is absolutely not afraid of silence or solitude, truly meets himself on a daily basis. He knows exactly what he genuinely likes, what he strongly dislikes, what truly makes his heart happy, and what brings him sorrow or discomfort. This deep, unapologetic self-awareness is the exact, solid foundation upon which a truly strong, independent, and fulfilling life is built. However, there is a very crucial distinction that must be made clear to fully understand this psychology. Staying at home to grow and running away from life out of fear are two completely different things. If a man intentionally stays at home because he finds genuine peace within himself, uses that time to think clearly, grows his skill set, and actively improves himself as a human being, then this solitude is his ultimate, undeniable strength. But if someone isolates himself and stays at home solely because he is terrified of the outside world, emotionally broken, and completely cut off from reality out of severe anxiety or depression, then he is actively in need of support and professional help. Recognizing this fine, delicate line between healthy solitude and unhealthy isolation is absolutely essential, as this mature understanding brings a person much closer to truly understanding both themselves and the people they care about. These quiet men also possess another incredibly powerful quality that very few people ever manage to notice, which is their intense, almost superhuman power of observation. Because they naturally observe, listen carefully, and deeply feel much more than they ever actually speak, they effortlessly catch the tiny, subtle details that other people completely lose in the loud noise of daily conversation. It is incredibly difficult to lie to a man who spends his time observing rather than talking. They can easily and quickly tell if the person standing right in front of them is genuinely happy, or if they are just putting on a fake smile and pretending to be okay. This deep, almost intuitive understanding of human nature makes them highly sensitive, profoundly empathetic, and incredibly authentic individuals to have in your life. Ultimately, society as a whole needs to realize and accept that not every single human being is wired the exact same way. For some people, ultimate happiness simply means being the loud, energetic life of the party, surrounded by hundreds of cheering people. And for others, absolute, pure happiness means nothing more than holding a warm, comforting cup of coffee in a quiet, dimly lit room while peacefully looking out the window at the world going by. Neither of these ways of living is right, and neither way is wrong. A man who strongly prefers to stay at home is simply living his life firmly on his own terms and having the sheer courage, independence, and self-confidence to do exactly that in a loud world is a truly remarkable, deeply respectable trait.